For AI and machine learning teams, managing API keys to inference providers for chat completions and embeddings can be a pretty annoying part of operations. Let's take a look at an example. Here I have a pretty simple LangChain application. This is a tennis bot that I can chat with, and it uses OpenAI's chat OpenAI LangChain interfaces to go and get the chat completions for a bunch of this stuff. Now, running this, which my environment currently has my OpenAI API key, running this with UV, we can actually start chatting with it. Say, what is your favorite part about tennis? And I can start getting completions from that, no problem. Now, this API key could be a real production API key to OpenAI. It doesn't really have any guards on it. It doesn't have policy. It's difficult to see what types of costs are going through it. It's basically a completely unguarded API key. Instead, we can use Zuplo's AI gateway. This enables us to have an API key from Zuplo that proxies through to our OpenAI account, but is not completely unfettered. It has some guards on it. We can set different limits and cost limits per app and per team. And we can even enable some advanced features like AI firewall, as well as semantic cache. So let's go pull up the browser and take a look at that. So what I have here is my team, and my team has been assigned an app. This is the Tennis GPT app. I've set this up with the OpenAI provider with my OpenAI key to then use this provider here with GPT 3.5 Turbo. There we go. And this is using my prod provider that I've already set up in this AI gateway. We can enable a bunch of different stuff like usage limit, semantic cache, all that. But right out of the gate, we get some really useful usage metrics, as well as our dashboards here to understand how this is actually being used. We can also apply policies and all different kinds of things. So what I want to do is actually grab this API key. So I'm going to copy that. And with two very small changes, we can start using the AI gateway right away in our LangChain application. I have this API key environment variable, so we can just put that API key right there. And then we also need our URL for this AI gateway, and this is going to be at /v1, which LangChain expects the base URL to be at. So now let's fire that away again. Let's uv run main.py. And we can ask, who is a great tennis player? There we go. There's a bunch of information about some great tennis players. We can then go over in our AI gateway, back to apps, back to the dashboard. We could see that request coming through for GPT 3.5 mini. And we can see first time to bytes, a bunch of information here. This is great because I could revoke access to this API key for this application. I could add policies. I could add a bunch of different usage limits, again, semantic cache, all these things right out of the gate. And without having to change any of the actual code, without having to use a different LangChain provider, it just works. Because Zuplo's AI gateway conforms to OpenAI's APIs and the shape of them, it works right out of the gate. We just change the base URL to the URL of our AI gateway here, as well as this API key for this application that we've set up. And we start getting the usage metrics, a bunch of the features. And again, it just works with LangChain.